what we had to pay out of pocket here was less than we would have paid with our insurance back home.
Hi everyone, we're sitting here with Ebony, who recently relocated to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and we just did an amazing interview with her. One of the questions that I think is really important for Black women who are looking to potentially move to other countries and grow their families is, what is that like? What is that experience like? And we know in the United States that according to the CDC, Black women, unfortunately, are 2 to 3 more times likely to die while giving birth. We are number one as it relates to all 3 ethnic groups that they have tracked: white women, Hispanic women, and Black women. And unfortunately, Black women die at much higher rates than the other 2 racial groups.
Hulu just released a documentary all about this crisis. Check out Aftershock.
So Ebony has had an experience giving birth both in the United States as well as here in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So Ebony, can you tell us about that experience?
Sure. I was 5 months pregnant when we moved to Playa del Carmen. I already had a 5-year-old daughter, but I was going to be giving birth to our son here. It was a fearful initial experience, just thinking about finding a doctor that I was comfortable with. I think that was my biggest thing, is that I just really wanted to be comfortable with the doctor. I wanted to ensure that I felt like they were competent and knew, what needed to be done in the event an emergency arose.
Of course.
So I think that was the biggest thing on my mind initially, but the experience itself, nothing short of amazing. I will say it was nothing short of amazing, from even the appointments themselves. The biggest difference me and my husband noticed right away was that in the States, you get a certain amount of ultrasounds unless you have a high-risk pregnancy. So you don't get to see your baby on the ultrasound very often, maybe like 2 or 3 times throughout a whole course of 9 months.
In the United States.
In the United States. Here, literally every appointment, I got to see our son.
Oh my God.
Every appointment, I got to hear his heartbeat. So that was nothing short of awesome, being able to see him and keep up with his growth and things like that. So that was the biggest difference, just with the appointments themselves. The next thing that we noticed was the doctor actually does everything here. Whereas in the States, you'll see this nurse when you check in, this nurse when you give your urine sample, this nurse when they check your blood pressure, and then you'll see your doctor or your midwife. But here, the doctor literally does everything. It was awesome to see, because you're like, okay, so really in the States, we have all of this for nothing. Like, you don't have to have all these people do all these different things. Another big thing I loved about having our son here was that I had communication with the doctor 24/7. I had his personal phone number. I could send him a message at any time of the day, and this man is gonna message me back. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
So I'm looking at you because I had no idea.
Yes.
This is so impromptu.
Yes.
Like, I had no idea her experience, and I am mind-blown.
It was awesome.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
awesome. So
Wow.
this is all before, I checked in the hospital to have my son. This is all before. So when we checked in to have him, because I did get induced, I was tired of being pregnant here in July. It was hot. I was over it. I was like, please, doctor, I'm ready.
Okay.
So I did have a scheduled induction. The nurse sat in the room the entire time.
So she didn't just give you the medication and then leave and come
the
back.
Room,
Wow.
she did not leave one time. She didn't leave for a bathroom break. She didn't. She sat in that room with me and my husband the entire time.
Wow.
And
she's checking your vitals.
She's checking everything. She's checking everything. Any moan, any. She's right there with me.
Wow.
In the States, you're like, is somebody gonna come back to check on me now? Can you check me again? She was in there the whole time.
Oh
the whole
gosh.
time. The doctor, he came in and checked on me regularly. It was like the customer service aspect of it was nothing like I've ever seen. It was nothing like I've ever seen.
Wow. Now, this was a private hospital?
This was a private
okay.
hospital. I will say I know that there is a big difference between a private and a general hospital, because I did hear a lot of women tell me that their general hospital experience wasn't the same as what my private hospital experience would be. So I knew we had to go the private hospital route. That just made me more comfortable. But I will say, if you are afraid to go ahead and take that step of moving, or if you want to grow your family while you are here in Playa del Carmen, I definitely recommend it, because like the service was awesome.
And just to clarify, and do your homework wherever you're planning to move to, but from what I understand of the private hospital system here, it's affordable.
Yes.
It's affordable.
Yes.
Compared to the United States. So, and that's just for regular, if you need surgery, if you need any type of medical attention that requires hospitalization, the private hospital sector here is drastically cheaper than what we're accustomed to.
For sure.
In the United States.
You know, what we had to pay out of pocket here was less than we would have paid with our insurance back home.
So this is the story I've been hearing about the private hospital. So listen, I just truly want people to understand that there are options.
Yes.
I want us to be safe. I want us to know that the numbers that I cited at the top of this conversation.
And things are expected to get worse. Know you have options, and always do your research.
They're real, but they don't have to happen to you. You have options, you have other places that you can look into. And with the type of service that Ebony just laid out, like, why shouldn't a doctor be with you if you have an appointment with a doctor, why shouldn't the doctor be with you from the beginning to the end of your appointment? Why should there not be a nurse sitting in making sure that these drugs that they are pumping into your body are not negatively affecting you? And if they are, let's get on it immediately. So, wow, mind blown. So anything else do you want to share with our audience about giving birth? Like, how long did you have to stay in the hospital? When was, like, you know, they kick you out now in the United States after a day. After a day.
So it was only 24 hours that we had to stay in the hospital. And that was only because I did have him naturally. I didn't get an epidural or anything like that.
Right.
Let me also plug in that with my daughter, I did have the epidural. And I had a negative experience with the epidural, which is why I did not want to have the epidural this time. So I did go the natural route this time, and it was amazing. Nothing short of amazing.
Wow. So after a day, and then what's the follow-up like?
So and I will also plug in that the pediatrician actually comes in and cares for your baby, checks on your baby. The pediatrician, not the doctor, but the actual pediatrician comes in while you're still in the hospital and starts service with your baby immediately.
Wow.
Yes.
And now you check out of the hospital,
then you check out, and then you just make
set your
appointments.
Okay. And then the final question is, how were you able to find your doctor upon moving here? Did you have referrals? Did you use Google? Like, how did you find your obstetrician? What is it?
OBGYN.
OBGYN.
We'll just keep it OBGYN.
Okay, OBGYN. How were you able to find your OBGYN?
So Google was my first resource that I went into, just looking for hospitals, private hospitals. That was the first thing. And then Facebook, the different groups, like the Moms of Playa del Carmen and stuff like that. I definitely was sending messages and posting different things, you know, what were people's experiences, what were hospitals that they recommended, asking people what their experience was like. So, you know, I definitely wanted to do my research beforehand and not go in that blindly.
Right.
So that's not something I want to play with at all. So that was how I chose the hospital. The doctor specifically really was just who the hospital assigned me. Because they only have a certain amount that speak English. It was just a situation where, you know, if it didn't work out and I wasn't comfortable with
You
him.
could've
It just,
switched.
it didn't work out with him. But the
Right,
hospital
right.
itself,
Okay.
I knew that that's where I wanted to be. Yes.
Wow. Listen. This right here is enough to make me want to share this information with the world, especially with our community. And to have someone come to another country with child and have to start, from scratch to find a doctor, to find a hospital, and to have such great things to say about it. Please take notes, share this video if you know someone who, has these type of concerns, or if they are currently, looking to move and not sure how to figure it out, please share this video. Ebony, this has been great. Thank you so much for sharing this. I am so glad your experience was well.
Yes.
And you have to come back and share your snapback.
Right. Look, I'm still snapping right now.
You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much, Ebony, for this.
You.
And until next time, guys, take care.